He just basically trauma dumped on her.
Yes.
On the first date?
Yes.
Yeah, he was talking about how, like, because he doesn't have social media, and
that's a red flag for me, though. Because I'm like,
I like when guys don't have social media.
no, okay, hold on. This guy, okay, on his profile, he's like, oh, I'll be like
he's really proud of it.
I'll be your photographer. And yeah, he's proud that he doesn't have a social media. But how can he be your photographer if he doesn't know what you look like on social media?
Well,
and what you want to post, you know?
True.
How would he know his
know
angle? What the
angle
angle is? And how is he gonna like hype you up?
And how is he gonna be a photographer if he has a portfolio on social media?
How? I did tell him eventually, like, once we got there, like, I am pretty hungry, like, we could grab something to eat. And he gave me two choices. It was either Taco Bell or Del Taco.
What? I think because my light shines so bright, I attract birds.
Hell yeah. Oh no.
That's a good analogy.
I'm so bright that all the shadows come to.
I just attract toxic things.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in the same boat as you, Tiff. Like, literally, I think that was a good analogy, actually.
Good. Hey everyone, sorry, we just want to let you know that the microphones at the beginning were not working correctly, so it's going to sound a little wonky for the first 7 minutes, but after that, I promise it'll resume to normal, so sorry about that for all the audio listeners, but it'll be a great episode, so stay tuned and let's get into it.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Just One Bite! I'm Tiff at Take One for the Road.
And I'm Nina at Psycho Food, and we have a lovely special guest here today.
Hi, I'm Garland.
Yeah, and she and I actually know each other from college, so we're like close friends from like, I don't know how many years that is. That's like,
I want to say like 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garland and I were she's one of my like first friends that I ever made at like our college. So for like undergrad, and we just bonded too because we were like both Filipino. So
Yeah.
that's mainly why. Too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So like the rest is like history.
Yeah.
And I just like introduced like Tiff and Garland like this year because
Yeah.
Garland listens to our podcast as well.
Chronically, I want to say.
Yeah, and I feel like when I had brought them together, like their like I guess connection is cool because they're both.
We're
both.
Yep. And we both have crazy, like, I guess, dating stories.
Yeah.
We've been through it. We're in the trenches out here together. Misery loves company.
Yeah.
We have each other.
At least we're trying.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, and I feel like you guys, like, I feel like when I hear, like, Garland stories, and then when I hear Tiff's stories, I'm just like, you know, like, the conversation is, like, almost, like, similar. But different guys, different crazy guys, by the way. But also kind of just weird vibes, because the dating pool, I'm not in it now, but it's different. Like,
Definitely different.
very slim.
For sure. Very slim thinking.
Yeah, but I just wanted to like just talk about like have a girl talk about like dating in general because I think that's something that like a lot of people were really looking forward. Like
You guys love our dating stories. It's like the only videos we get views for.
yeah,
so
you guys
you're
like
welcome.
the but just so people kind of know you, just like background wise, like so Garland, she's not actually a creator, but you have a coffee account.
I do, yeah. It's grilled beans with a Z at the end.
Beans.
Yeah. So it's
Cute.
me and my best friend's like coffee Instagram account. We mainly just wanted to create one just because we love coffee, we love matcha. So it's nothing of the sort of like, oh, we want to get famous and everything,
Yeah,
but just share.
No wonder
Yeah.
you were at my coffee down the street. We're still in the location here. And we're like, oh, Garland's probably not like nowhere close to here. And then Nina looks, she's like, oh wait,
Yeah,
she's at
really
my
close.
coffee in Monica.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes away or something like that. But, my actual Instagram though is xgarland. So
Yeah, and
I don't post as much, but yeah.
Yeah, but she's a student, and so I think that's good because you're in coffee shops like often.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there something that you've tried recently that's been really good?
Well, just the one that I tried today, so my coffee. But I love going to coffee shops in general. I go to one like at least once a week,
Nice.
which is not good for my bank account, but I mean,
Okay.
You guys nice to have.
yeah.
What's like your go-to coffee order?
Ooh, I want to say, so besides like a matcha latte, if I want to get like coffee, I would say like a hazelnut latte.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you replace the milk or anything? Or you
Oh yeah, I need oat milk.
Oh, for sure. I'm an oat
Yeah.
girly too.
Oh yeah. I think a sip of like whole milk will get me to the restaurant.
No, for sure. I can't be like that life anymore. I feel like when
Yeah.
you're younger, like you're indulging in like ice cream and like
Yeah.
the wholest milk of possible, you know. But it's okay. We're mindful now.
Right. Which is weird because like when I eat ice cream, like I'm okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think my body's just selective with other
Yeah.
stuff.
What if you just like keep ingesting dairy to like build your tolerance to it? Because that's why I keep
That's
having
true.
dairy because I don't because
the statistic kind of break the system.
yeah because the statistic is 98% of Asian people eventually become lactose.
It is true.
And I refuse to be lactose. I just keep putting dairy in my body.
Yes. And you guys all know that she's a big fan of Go Greek, which we need to introduce you to.
Okay, yeah.
It's literally so good.
We'll go for dessert after.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's literally the
yes.
best like Greek yogurt. I don't like Greek yogurt like until I tried Go Greek. It's so fire. Like literally, I don't know what they put in it, but it's just like
So good.
pure.
They're opening a new one though, Newport Beach.
I saw
Oh really?
that.
Oh
Yeah, like
yeah,
their first OC location. So
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, have you ever taken your dates on a coffee date before, or have you?
My dates?
Yeah. Or have they taken you there?
Actually no, surprisingly.
Oh,
Did you tell
That
them
is
though?
interesting. Yeah, I mean, so like I'm on a dating app and like one of my prompts says like, oh, I literally go to like, well, not every coffee shop, but like coffee is like my number one thing. And so like I never had an experience where I was on a date with someone and they would tell me like, oh, we should go on a coffee date. So that's
surprising because
yeah.
I feel like a lot of guys these days they would rather just go on a coffee date or
Right.
like a boba date or something so that they don't have to actually shell out money for a dinner.
Yeah. No, I think my first dates typically would just be like at a restaurant and then some sort of like activity afterwards, which is fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a great first date.
I feel like when you getting to the activity part is not as common. I feel like, which that's good. So, do you plan that out beforehand, or do you like get dinner and then you're like, hey, do you want to do something after, or are you?
Yeah, typically we plan that beforehand.
Okay.
I've had like one day where it was just like an activity, and I mean I can get more on that later, but yeah, it's usually that sort of like format.
Yeah, it's a little funky because also if they're not into doing activities, like that's where like you kind of have to gauge. So I guess it's good that you plan.
Right.
But do you feel like most of your dates, like even for you, Tiff, is it mostly like like a dinner or something, or?
Yeah, it's usually like a dinner and then like dessert after and then maybe drinks after that or something like that. It depends. Yeah, it really depends these days because I feel like some guys, and I get it too from the guy's perspective, is like they shell out money for these dinner dates and then it doesn't go anywhere. So I get them wanting to just take girls out for like a drink or like a coffee or things like that. But the thing is, I don't drink coffee. And then a lot of times the dates have to be at night and like I can't have caffeine. So but usually most of the guys I've been on dates with recently have been dinner. I mean, I haven't been on a date in a while, in a long time. I'm decentered men for a while.
So yeah, I feel like usually it's like dinner dates in the last year, but yeah, I mean, I've had some guys take me to like coffees and stuff, or like chase squirrels with. Like,
oh, that's a complete like. She has a whole like thing about like how there's so many squirrels in Santa Monica, and that was their date.
Yeah, one of the
I heard about that. Yeah.
I was like, are you gonna pursue me or not? So I was like, I'll just ask him on a date, and I was like, you want to like chase squirrels? So we like went to go find squirrels, but that day there were no squirrels.
Yeah,
went to go
unfortunate.
So,
I know.
Yeah, I always try to like see if I can get the guy to take me to Go Greek because I like Greek. So
we'll test their
Little
limits.
yeah.
But I guess what is like from your guys' like experience, what is like a good first date?
I like an activity and some sort of food. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or like food, then we go to drinks.
Right.
But maybe not so much drinks on the first date anymore because I've learned that like I actually don't need a drink to like feel loose and stuff. I'm fine. But sometimes I feel like when guys ask to get drinks, I can't tell what their motive is. And a lot of times when guys ask to go get drinks on a first date, it's like
you want to play it safe in a way.
Yeah, I want to play it safe, and also I've cut out casual drinking just for health reasons.
Right.
So I kind of don't want to do drinks for dates anymore, unless it's like we're drinking to go out, or we're gonna like go to like a club or something.
Yeah, no, that's a little too much for a first date, I would say.
Yeah.
Going to a club.
Yeah.
Like a meal is fine.
Yeah.
A meal is great. And then if you have an activity before and after, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If not, like, you can win my heart over dessert.
Yeah.
I'm really simple.
Yeah.
I don't know about like for like drinking and stuff, because I feel like a lot of those places when it's like a bar or at a club or something, I don't think a date at a club is a good thing, but if it's like at a bar, but I always feel like it's really loud, so like so what are your hobby, like so it's a bit loud, so I don't know if
there's distractions, like there's TVs on the screen and stuff.
I think for me, so like kind of like what you said, like a combination of like dinner and activity, but in terms of like what I look for in a guy, in a sense, it's like, I don't know about you guys, but they have to pay the first date. I don't know, it just kind of just shows them, right? I don't know.
Like, I don't mind splitting if I don't see myself going on another date with them, but I would like for them to at least offer to pay on the first date, and then if I'm like, oh, I don't really see this going anywhere, then maybe I'll offer to split it or something, or I'll buy dessert. Usually that's like if they buy dinner, I'll buy dessert. Right. Because I don't want to feel like I owe them in any way. So
that makes sense.
But yeah, I agree with you. Chivalry can't be dead.
It can't.
You have to offer to pay, because it's like if you're dating and you can't even like offer to pay for a $7 coffee, it just shows me that you can't provide. And I don't need you to provide for me. I can make my own money. I'm happy, but it's just like I don't like, if I don't need you, then why are we even like going on this date kind of a thing? Because I can buy myself a coffee, I can buy myself a meal, and if you can't even do that for me, then why am I hanging around?
I mean, I think, can I just share about like the recent like first date that I went on? Well, it was about like, it was pretty recent, but I actually paid for dinner.
What? For both you?
For both myself and him.
What?
Yeah, I know. So
wait, what?
We planned on just going, or just simply going to a driving range, right? Because that person liked golfing. And
I know this story. When she said golf and when we talk islands at Anaheim, that's what I know.
Yeah, and it turned out really well in the beginning, and then later on he kind of just got comfortable, like it was a little too much for me.
Did you guys
first date.
Did you guys have drinks?
So yes, we did. It was like a bottle of soju or something, but like
before you started hitting, like
it was like after balls. Actually, it was after, like right after we were done being at the driving range.
Oh, I see.
And it was before even drinking, like, or even actually at the actual date, I was thinking like, oh, maybe we're gonna get dinner afterwards, but he never like mentioned that at all, and I was getting kind of hungry. It was like 6 or 7 p.m. and I didn't want to tell him like, oh, I'm getting hungry. Like, I kind of wanted to give him a hint at first, and so I told him like, oh, are you getting hungry? And he was like, no, actually, I had a full lunch. I had Chick-fil-A, and that was it. Like, he never asked me if like I was hungry.
He was still kind of trying to like continue the date.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
So this, and because you started like divulging, like, because he asked a question to you, like, and then that like allowed you to like open up. But then
right, for him to like ask me if I was getting hungry, right? And so after we ended the driving range like date, he wanted to grab a drink, but at his place, which was like further away from where I live. And so I was like, oh, it's hard for me to say no, but I said yes.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way, so I get you.
Yeah, so I did end up at his place, but like not inside. And I did tell him eventually, like once we got there, like I am pretty hungry, like we could grab something to eat. And he gave me 2 choices. It was either Taco Bell or Del Taco.
What?
It's like, would you like Mexican or Mexican?
Yeah.
Would you like fast food
Or fast food.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is getting
Romantic.
this is getting really romantic. Yeah. But I was like, okay, Taco Bell. I preferred Taco Bell over Del Taco. And he was like, oh, really? Like, I actually love Del Taco. And I'm like,
No, what?
what?
Are you
That
serious?
should have been
You
the
know?
first red flag then.
Wow. I actually
Yeah.
don't know a lot of people who like Del Taco over Taco
I don't know a
Bell.
single person.
I know
Yeah.
a few, but it's like, really? You can just hide that for the first date. You know what I'm saying? Like,
True.
but we ended up going to Taco Bell, and it wasn't like, it was closed already, and I was like, all right, this date is going super well. We ended up going to Del Taco, and mind you, I was driving the entire time. He was
Yeah.
the passenger.
Yeah, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Garland forgot this detail, by the
I
way.
forgot.
So they went to like islands, right? And this is in Anaheim. And so she lives not in that direction. Like, you're generally in the 626.
Yeah.
And so he should have known that fact. And then he was trying to go to like South Bay, basically.
Yeah.
And
Far for
Yeah.
yeah, far for her, but then close for him.
Right.
But then
He was like, oh, it's only like 10 minutes away from Anaheim,
oh yeah.
but like 30 minutes away from where I live. But
Yeah, but it was like a 20-minute drive for you just to
Yeah.
get there, or from like Anaheim
Right.
to South Bay. But then in South Bay, he was like, okay, park. But then there's no parking because everything's under construction. So it's like, why would you suggest that area? And then
yeah, he was
Wait,
like,
where's his car?
so he was driving, because I was in the call with him as we were on his way to his house, and because he was gonna tell me of like where I needed to park, but like once we got to his house, he was like, oh, there's actually not a lot of parking like near his house. I was thinking like maybe I can just take or park my car right in front of his house, and that I could drive to Del Taco or Taco Bell or whatever, and I could drive with you.
yeah, so he
So-
basically hitched a ride
Yeah,
without consent in her car.
without asking.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then
He pay for golf?
He did pay for golf.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least he paid for golf.
Yeah.
wait, do you have a your own club, or did you rent?
No, he had his own club, so I used his.
Okay.
Yeah. But what's crazy is that, so like fast forward to going to Del Taco, I was driving and we go through the drive-through. I take his order, I take my order, and like, you know, like after you order, like you're driving towards the window, right? And so like I don't see him budge at all. Like,
Do you think this is why he asked you to drive? Because he wanted you to pay? Because usually a guy, like if you're already driving all the way to his place, the least he could do
I see
is
what you mean.
drive, or he drives you to dinner.
Yeah, it's in
'Cause
his
you're already
area.
going out of your way. You
but
know?
I'm already
Ooh.
driving to him too.
Yeah, and I
So
guess
it's like-
because she was like last to park because he already parked his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
then
feel like he had like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. But
Shady.
exactly. I know it was. So once we got to that window to get our food and the cashier told us our price, he like did not do anything. And I was like, okay, this is like my last straw.
Yeah.
So I paid for our, $20 dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. That's trash. And did you park in the Del Taco like parking? Or?
Oh my. So we went back to his place, and he said that we couldn't go inside his house because his family was there. He didn't want to disturb
So
them.
then why did he ask you to come over all the way here?
I don't know.
Because of a
You can't park near your place. You can't go into his side. Of the Taco Bell is closed.
because he had a bottle of soju. When
Like-
we could have just gotten
Go down to
anywhere
H-Mart.
near Anaheim, but you know, I was kind of just like I said, it's really hard for me to say no, so I kind of just went along with it. I still wanted to get to know him. Maybe because we were just
Like,
you know
were being
golfing.
open-minded.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
Dating nowadays, you have to, like, I give second dates to guys that I'm kind of like
Right.
about because
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to be open-minded, blah 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 blah. Maybe they're nervous on the first date.
Yeah.
But maybe this is also your lesson to learn to say no.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but when they were eating in the car, that's the one where I felt like because he was asking, or he just basically trauma dumped on her.
Yes.
On the first date?
Yes.
Yeah, he was talking about how, like, because he doesn't have social media, and
That's a red flag for me though, because I'm like,
I like when guys don't have social media.
no, okay, hold on. This guy, okay, on his profile, he's like, oh, I'll be
like he's really proud of it.
I'll be your photographer, and yeah, he's proud that
Yeah.
he doesn't have a social media. But how can he be your photographer if he doesn't know what you look like on social media?
Well,
and what you want to post, you know?
True.
How would
He
he know
doesn't
his
know
angle, what the
angle
angle
is,
is, and how is he gonna
Yeah.
like hype you up?
And how is he going to be a photographer if he has a portfolio on social media?
How? No, well, I found out from that first date that he actually took down his social media like recently this year or something like that. But that's how he was trauma dumping. He was talking about how like social media isn't like good or anything like that. My friends have social media and they always post about their highlights, which I totally understand, you know. And I think having social media is a way to post your highlights, but also like it's just a way for you to
stay connected.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's how you perceive it, and so I think he was very pessimistic about it. And like besides that, there was also other things he talked about his friends on that first date. And like, mind you, we were like in his car, and I mean, I don't know if I want to say where we're at, but like throughout the time he was talking, I was just like staring from afar and just waiting till this date ended.
It's like
disassociated.
yeah.
Like I was just like,
did you have anything to look at though, or
the window? Actually,
the cars?
like I didn't even finish my food or anything like that.
Yeah,
I lost appetite. Yeah.
Oh,
so
God, that's bad.
So it was definitely.
Dude, that's hard. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to answer the question, like they have to pay and they have to at least set up a good impression for the first date. Yeah.
Oh wait, you should tell her about the scale. Like, how would you rate?
Yeah, so like towards the end of that date, I mean I told him that I had to leave because it was like
late, probably.
Yeah, it was like I had school the next day, so I told him like, oh, I have to go, and he said that okay, yeah, that's fine. Before you leave, like how would you rate this date? And I was just laughing, like playing it off.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, and then he was like, oh, like how do you really think about it? And I was like, actually, like I don't think we're meant for each other.
Yeah.
You know, so
he clearly has things he needs to work through.
Yeah.
I don't think he's actually ready for something serious.
Yeah.
Committed. Yeah.
And so that's my story
and
about.
Then what did he say? Did he say like?
Oh, actually, when we were at the driving range, he was also kind of trauma dumping too about his past like situationships or his dates with other girls, and he was saying that he would get rejected by other girls. And so like I just kind of took it with a grain of salt. And then he said that he wouldn't be really butthurt about it. So actually, like when I told him that, he wasn't hurt at all.
But do you think he goes home and he actually is butthurt about it, and then
maybe I don't know.
Comes out like
maybe.
Yeah.
The date it was not that great of a date.
Right.
And maybe it's because he deep down is butthurt about it, so he actually doesn't even really put in
potentially
effort.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
it has affected him.
I see
probably
what you're saying.
did, but like I think it's better that this all happened on the first date, you know, instead of it
coming out
lasting
later.
right. And so I mean, who knows, but I personally, for me, I just didn't have a good time.
It's okay, and you don't have to have a good time every time, but then also it shouldn't be that crappy like where either. But
it just came up like
yeah, but I also see how it could be like hard if like you don't know where to like end it, you know, like if you're X amount of time, but then sometimes it's like one thing like activity done if it's like
like I've
if
never
you're, like, not feeling it, then just be like, oh, I have like other plans
exactly
because sometimes you never know, you want to leave it open, because I've had dates where it's like it goes on for hours, but it's like fun, right? It's like we go here and then we go here and then we go here.
Right.
But then other times I'm like, okay, well, I have like work I need to do, or like I have to do something, you know, I have videos I need to edit.
Yeah, that's true.
Do tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like good night.
Yeah, I'm sorry that had happened to you.
It's okay. I feel like, I mean, it was a learning experience. And I think, yes, I had a hard time saying no, but at the end I was like, I kind of felt confident that I like, you know,
like you were able to like reach that point. Yeah, no, it could be hard to like say like no to people, but then also I feel like these are the moments where you realize like, okay, I really want my boundaries next time.
Yes, boundaries.
Yeah, so. Like even like you guys could have like met in the middle, eat somewhere in Anaheim, you know. But it's true too. If you were just going back for a bottle of soju, you could have just gotten that like somewhere nearby too. So the planning on that part.
Yeah, like
right.
You couldn't just buy a new one.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm so confused.
Yeah,
I'm confused too.
It's okay.
To this day, but again, a learning experience.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but it's okay. Hopefully the next one will be okay.
Yeah. Do you have any lined up?
Wait, well, first of all, are you on any apps right now?
So I am. I'm on like 2 dating apps. And I like, I've been on the dating app for like, I want to say almost 2 years, like a year and a half or so, and have had different dating experiences, talked to different guys. But like at this point, it's just kind of like draining.
It's exhausting.
You know?
Because it's not fun anymore. It feels like homework, right?
It does.
And then it's like homework. You do the homework and then you go and then it's like you're disappointed.
Exactly.
And then you have to start all over again.
Yes,
and you have to put yourself out there all over again for a new person. Repeat the same things that you've told everybody else.
Yeah, and it's like I'm constantly kind of like in the same routine all the time, where either, you know, we talk for a couple days or a couple months, and it's just like, you know, things end and it's like, all right, I gotta start all over again. And so like right now I'm just kind of like, it's not that I'm like not serious, but it's like I don't want to waste my energy too, you know?
Yeah, like exactly. Just like focus on yourself.
Right.
If you have time, you'll go on a date.
Yeah.
Talk to a guy. If not, like that's fine. You just focus on yourself.
Exactly.
Like, that's why I feel like this should be our motto for the rest of the year. It's like decentering men, you know?
Yeah.
Make time for them when we have time instead of like changing our schedule for them.
Yeah.
And, like making things easier for them. Like where has that gotten us? Like us being so nice.
Exactly.
Bending over back for them to make their lives easier, and then it doesn't get us anywhere.
Yeah, and I think like being on this dating scene I've learned a lot about myself too. I want to say like, yes, there's a lot of cons to it, but I think it's also learning, like pros would just be what I don't want to find in a guy, right? And also being a little bit more confident about myself too.
Yeah, what you want.
Yeah, exactly. So
I always felt like every time like you're dating someone, or that I was like dating someone or like talking to someone, I would be every like inch closer to like my perfect someone. So I felt like that kept me thinking like, okay, like I'm just getting closer. One person isn't like perfect, but that's okay, because there could be someone who's more perfect or what like I would need. So yeah, that's that's okay to have.
I'm gonna tell my future person I'm on sabbatical right now.
Not the sabbatical period.
It's gonna take a little longer for me to get to you, sir. Take a little break scene.
Yeah.
So do you guys have like a general timeline of how long you're talking to someone, and then you go on the first date, and then how long are you, or how often should you be talking to them in that in between period from like the second or even the third date?
I feel like it all depends. I don't know. Definitely not too early. Like I want to give it a few months or so. Like
before meeting them?
Oh, are you talking about like?
Yeah. How about the first time like you do dating, or the first date? How long would you talk to someone before?
Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry.
It's a 2-part question. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I think that also depends too. Like I want to say like a week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. What about you?
I'd rather just get it over with. Like I prefer,
Yeah.
You talked to them that day? You
like,
matched
I
with them
would
that
rather
day?
I matched with them that day. We talked for like 1 to 2 days, and they just like asked me out and set a date, and then we could talk more at the date.
Do you
'Cause I
talk to
think
them?
That's
I used to do
true,
the
yeah.
whole like I talk for a week or two, and it's like by the time you get to the first date, you don't have anything really much to talk about.
That makes
as
sense.
much.
Yeah.
So I'd rather them just like try to set a date to like meet like pretty early on.
Yeah.
So that when we're on our date, it's like we have so much to learn,
Right.
to talk about.
Yeah.
It's not as awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it's like you get it over with too, because then I didn't waste 2 weeks trying to get to know this person and then going on a bad
Exactly.
date. Whereas it's like I just went on a bad date, got it
Right.
over with, and then we can move on to the next.
Yeah,
person.
and actually, like now that you say that, like I did talk to someone before our first date for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because I think there was like I was busy with school and everything, and then he was also busy too with work, and so we were just trying to find a time to hang out. And so by the time we were on our first date, it was like a mixture of like him being kind of like too introverted or like too shy, and like there wasn't anything else to talk about too.
Yeah, what can you work with?
Yeah, but yeah, no, I understand that.
Ooh. And then let's say that you did go on like a first date. And then like let's say the first date went good. How often are you messaging that person until the next time you see them?
Like at least once a day.
Just once a day?
Like if it went good.
I think
Like how often? Yeah, if it went
I
good.
feel like after my last situationship, I went from like an anxious dater to like a little bit more secure, where it's like I don't need them to text me throughout the day. I also don't need to hear from them every single day.
Yeah.
It would be nice. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
But I also
Yeah.
understand like people are really busy and things
Right.
like that. But as long as if they can at least text you once a day, then it's like, oh, at least, you know, I want you to know like I'm still interested.
Right,
you're still
right.
in my mind. Obviously that's the bare minimum, but
Yeah.
I think I like when they talk to me like throughout the day. But then also like I am okay with like if they message me at the end of the day and then that's like the recap for the day.
oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
cute.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
because I'm also like I don't know if I really like they'll like greet you good morning and then that's like it.
Oh
Yeah, you know, and then you're like okay, did you ask me what else I'm doing
Yeah.
today, or do you want to hear what happened tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand from like both point of views.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say it all depends. I feel like that's my answer to everything. But
It does though.
yeah.
Each guy you date, each relationship,
Exactly.
it's very different.
Right.
You can't compare like apples to apples.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every day is different, and so I just want them to let us know that if they're busy, you know, let me know, right? Like, hey, communication is key,
Like
right?
busy to plan a date, or busy that
Busy
they can't focus on a relationship.
or like busy with
I'm busy
texting
for-
you,
yeah, like, I'm
you know.
busy
I see,
today,
I
so
see.
won't text you as much,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll, like reach out when I'm
Oh yeah,
done with
Because
work.
it takes like a second to just text that, you know.
like I have work. I'll be able to text you
Right.
during my break or something.
Yeah, and like I think knowing myself, like I'm very anxious, and so like if that person in the beginning, if I know that they text a lot, you know, with me, and then I find out like I don't know weeks after that they stopped texting, it's like what happened, you know?
Yeah, you were so
right,
true.
right. So it's
True.
like what's going on? Like I just need constant communication from that.
Yeah, but yeah, consistency is like a lack in most
Yeah.
most guys, which is kind of hard
It's a
because
little concerning these days. to be
yeah,
honest.
I think it's probably because guys they probably think like like I did all the work at the beginning, I conquered them, which is like a weird word,
Yeah,
but
Oh
like
my
they're
gosh.
hunters at the end of the day, so they like the chase and stuff.
Mm.
Yes.
I'm just like,
yeah, and it's like kind of weird too because like obviously dating should be like easy and like easy flowing, but then it's also weird because I've heard guys be like, oh, when like they don't want like someone to be like easy, if that makes sense, like they're easy to like impress or get or whatever, because then for them it feels like there's a lack of challenge, but then it's easy like that they like got them to like them or whatever. So, which is kind of like a weird concept because I'm like, well, dating is really working. Like, shouldn't it be like really easy for you to just like bond and that's okay? But then why do you have to like chase
basically
chase
why
so
do you
hard?
have to play this game?
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what we're doing. We're basically playing the game because that's how you date. You have to play the game.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
Yeah, and what sucks is that like if you are on dating apps and you know how it tells you like what your intention.
Oh my god, they all lie.
Right?
They're like open to short and long, and I'm like, no,
what does that
there's
even
no.
Or they put long term, and then you meet them, and it's for sure not. They're not looking for long term.
And I've had experiences like that, so it's
What do you mean, like?
crazy. I mean, like I think one of the guys that I dated, they did say in their profile that they were looking for a long-term relationship, and like it went really well up until like I want to say a month and a half in later, where they're like, actually, I don't think I'm looking for a long-term relationship, and that just kind of like surprised me.
Because they love bomb you in the beginning.
They
tell
really
you what you
do.
wanna hear
Yeah.
to get you like.
They lock you
They
in.
lock you in,
and then
they're like, oh, actually,
yeah, I know.
Literally. Like, actually, I'm an F-boy. Like,
like actually, I don't know what I want.
yeah. Like it's nothing to them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe because they can't really play it off after they realize like they don't want it anymore. Yeah. I think they can play like people can play the nice person at the beginning, but then once it starts like going downhill,
It's too serious for them. Then they're like, oh,
they'll get a little scared or
they get
something.
Oh yeah.
But I guess what is my question too, like what type of guys do you think people or that you attract usually? What do you feel like is common for you?
I think because my light shines so bright, I attract bugs.
Hell yeah. Oh no.
That's a good analogy.
I'm so bright that all the shadows come to
I just attract toxic things.
Oh yeah, no, I'm in the same boat as you, Tiff. Like literally, I think that was a good analogy actually. But what's crazy is that like every time I, like after a really bad situation or whatever with another guy, like I end up thinking to myself like, what's wrong with me, right? Like what did I do in that situationship, in that relationship to let it end? And then I realized like later on, I'm like, wait, like I didn't do anything wrong. I tried my best. I put in so much effort. It's just on them.
It's never, you are not the problem. And I think I think that's also what we probably learned from online dating, and going through all these like situationships and like failed relationships and stuff. It's like, we always like everyone always has things they need to work on, but at the end of the day, with these guys specifically that we've been having bad dating stories with, we are not the problem. They have things they need to work through. They are the avoidant ones. They're the ones who are like are like not telling, like they're not being honest with themselves, and they just want to mess around, and then just like string girls, like nice girls like us along, and then we get hurt, and then they move on to the next one, and they do the same thing to the next girl.
And sometimes it's like not even intentional for them. I just feel like they do want to they want to try to find like a long-term relationship, but then like later on it's like, actually I'm scared, like what I'm saying,
the avoidant in the,
so
like
maybe it's because
feeling gets too serious for them, and they don't know how to process those emotions, and then they dip, and then once they go into the next thing, like in the beginning it's so exciting for them, so they're like, this is easy, I can keep up, but then once things get serious again, they can't do it.
They just shut off.
They just shut off. And they never do the inner work to actually like work through that. And because of that, they're never gonna have a successful relationship.
Exactly.
People are not really in tune with their like vulnerability, so I guess with guys it's more apparent for them because they're not used to. I don't think bros, they're like, hey bro, all the time, like, how are you like feeling? They don't talk about it.
They don't talk about their feelings.
Like, are you good? And the guy goes, yeah, I'm good,
and that's it.
Okay, let's go gym.
That's like their form of like, I don't know, therapy.
But I'm sure there's guys out there who are who
of course
have really good homies that will like hear them out, but it is kind of hard to like trust someone new to like open up to them, but then I also feel like you need to like at least lay some cards out to be something that's workable. But yeah, it's unfortunate that some people are not as like in tune with like their feelings. But I guess what are things that, okay, like let's say that like you're in a date and maybe there's someone that they can't really like open up, and then you hear them. But what are some like good green flags or red flags too, where you're like, okay, they're not opening up, but I feel like there's something to work with, so I'll keep going at it. And what are red flags where you're like, okay, they're not opening up, okay, for sure this is a red flag, we can't keep going. Like, what are like some of those flags?
Well, I noticed those flags with the Cybertruck guy because he never wanted to go, like, he never talked about deep things because he's like avoidant, introvert, you know, like that combination. And I've definitely tried being deep to get him to open up, and it's like, it's challenging, but then you realize like those people are emotionally unavailable, not capable of being vulnerable, super avoidant. And I should have known that was a red flag, but for some reason it's like I love a good challenge, and maybe it's because
I get you.
Growing up
they're like, I love to work up a project.
But maybe it's because I have like issues from my childhood growing up where it's like that's how I viewed love, was like I had to like earn it, I had to like work for it, you know. And so I've brought it into my relationships, and that's something I'm very aware of, and I'm trying to work on that, where it's like that's not like a healthy relationship, you know. And so that I think is a red flag, and that's what I learned from that. And going forward, I have to be more aware of that. Like if a person, you know, doesn't want to really talk about things other than like surface level things, they're not capable of having an emotional, vulnerable conversation, even in like intimate settings, they're not really intimate, like that's a flag, that's a big red flag. And if they drive a Cybertruck,
that's TIFF's
big red flag for sure. I think for me, in like my experience, it's kind of like, it's pretty opposite from you. I've actually talked to guys where they were pretty open, which I liked. And so they would talk about their life, like, I mean, hopefully not in their first date, but like it's more like it has to come naturally in a way. And so like the experiences that I've had, they, you know, it would be to where like, okay, I'm comfortable with talking to you, vice versa. And so like it was just like an open-ended conversation. And that's what I liked about the guys that I talked to. What the problem was that sometimes it wouldn't be like reciprocated back.
Like they don't want to hear about you.
They don't ask you how you're feeling.
Exactly, because I'm a very like active listener, and so I listen to them and I hear them out, and you know, I ask them like other questions, but like in the end it just feels like it's all about themselves in a way.
It must feel so draining too, because you're like giving, taking, sucking the life out of you, and then but they can't provide the same like support for you,
right? And so I've noticed that pattern, and so it's just like, oh, I kind of wish they would ask me too, because I mean I love to yap, you know, I love talking and everything, but like it has to be kind of like equal to where like, you know, you can talk about yourself, I can talk about myself, but if you're just talking about like yourself and not, you know, asking me how are things, then
it shows like they don't care.
So,
and like I feel like it's easier to ask a question than like divulge in whatever story or statement too. And if anything too, it's easier to ask questions, so then you wouldn't have to figure out what you need to say, and then it would be on the other person. But maybe people get really comfortable around talking to you, so that might be like that's a good thing.
Listener.
True.
But I feel like people trauma dump on you, or like they tell
they really do.
you. I feel like you get pretty interesting characters who like come to you.
But the thing is, it's like
literally walks around with the sign like around her neck, like,
I can
trauma dump.
I should be a therapist.
Oh my god.
But well, I mean I am gonna be a physical therapist.
Technically the other way.
But I think, I mean, kind of like what you were saying about like not them being emotionally available, like, yes, for my experiences, these guys would talk about themselves, but at the same time too, they weren't emotionally available.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I think it's all just talk. Like they talk about themselves, blah, 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 right? But then in the end, it's like, do you really care about the person's feelings? Sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and clearly they don't.
Yeah. So in the end, it was like, you know, they talk about themselves, and then it's just like, if I were to express my feelings, and, you know, I've tried to express my own feelings about like a certain issue, situation, it's like they kind of ignore it or like dismiss it. Yeah. So
Like gaslighting?
in a way, yeah. Yeah. I want to
that's not really
say.
fair. Yeah, no, trash. I'm kidding. Yeah. It's hard to like be, I guess, related or connect with someone if they're not like receptive to you, or like if they don't if you don't feel heard, basically. Yeah, which is unfortunate because I feel like hearing is better than blabbing.
Yeah.
You learn a lot more.
At the end of the day, everyone loves talking about themselves, right?
They do. Yeah.
It's like even when you go to job interviews, they always tell you like ask a question at the end because the interviewer loves talking about themselves. But it's about like in relationships, it's like it's got to go both ways. How are you gonna support one another?
Exactly.
Rely on one another if it's one person taking all the time.
Yeah.
True. I was gonna ask this question too, cause you don't have to talk about like in specifics, but like, what do you guys feel like it's different dating like when you were in school versus like your mid to late 20s?
I'm in my early 30s now. 20s at heart. Honestly, I'm loving my 30s though.
Yeah.
It's nice to have money to spend. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with
True.
it.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's different
I
though?
only dated one guy in college, and so I can't really speak to it. But looking back, I always joke. I don't even think this is really a joke, but I tell my friends that when I have kids one day, I'm gonna tell like my kids to try to find someone in school, because I think I actually studied so much. I was always at the library. I was very studious, and I maybe should have tried harder. Like maybe I should have learned how to do makeup. Maybe I should have like gone on dates or like try to meet a guy, because now the dating scene is so different that it's hard to meet people in real life. So I'm kind of like, but then again, it's like I also don't regret studying so hard because I've set myself up for success.
Of course.
Future.
Yeah.
But it's like, it sucks, man. Like a lot of my friends, they met their partners, long-term partners in
Like in
college and
college.
shit like that. And it's like, I have nobody, you know? So it's like, maybe it would have been easier to date in school.
Yeah. I think I asked that question because I feel like we're starting to notice a lot of like the friends that we knew in college. Like they're getting engaged. There's actually so many people.
So many this year.
Past weekend. So many people got engaged. My friend Kat and I, we were like looking at our Instagram. Literally, so many people got engaged on the same day that my friends got married. And I was like, I've never 11/11 Pepero Day is usually Singles Day. Yeah. There's also Valentine's Day. Like, no, this last weekend, this past Saturday,
like engagement weekend.
I've never felt more single in my life.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, engagement.
Yeah, no, seriously. I feel like there was like a couple weeks ago, there's a bunch of people from like that I feel like we knew from
Filipino.
Yeah,
club.
I was like, they're all getting like engaged, and then I was like, they all were at the beach.
I know. I'm so happy for you. Tear down.
I'm really happy for you guys.
Yeah, I am too.
Love like that
Yeah.
for me, but
Honestly.
But it's interesting how I see like those people, but I feel like those people I see who were like college sweethearts or even like I don't even know that many high school sweethearts, but like college sweethearts for sure. Like I feel like when I saw them, like, okay, you guys really were like that. You
Connected.
were close.
Yeah.
But then I feel like I value not meeting like being with someone like as my forever from college, because I feel like my era in college is different than my era now as like
and you learn so
bit of
much
adult.
from each relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to date and like be in different relationships, you learn so much more and you grow so much more, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Like props to the people who find their forever person right away.
Yeah.
And honestly, it sucks for me. I wish I had that kind of luck, but I also feel like I've gotten like stronger in a way.
Yeah.
You know, I've grown a lot because of like the experiences I've had.
Right.
And so I wouldn't be who I am today if maybe I did meet someone
True.
like in college, or if I stayed with my person in college. I'd probably not be happy because the person I was dating in college was not great to me.
Yeah.
You know? If I stuck around, like who knows where I ended up.
True.
No, I think every person is different and they have like their own pathway. But I think for me, personally, I think it is harder right now. I did meet someone in college and we ended up being together for like, a couple of years. And so it was long term, but after the fact, it's definitely been hard, going back to that dating scene, because now, like, kind of like what we mentioned, like either you're in a situation or your other friends are either taken or they're engaged, they're getting married, they have a family, or they're in school. And for me, like, I'm still in school, I'm in grad school. And so, like, even if I'm at school, like, I still feel like I'm in different avenues compared to like my other classmates, because they're either also married or they're taken, things like that. And so it's just like it's hard to find someone that's in the same avenue as me.
Yeah, like you're single, young, in school.
Such an awkward
because
era.
I understand what you mean, because grad school, there's a variety of like students who coming in at different ages.
They're taken.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because my friend Isabel, her husband just graduated from business school, and he was there for the last 2 years, and Isabel's always like trying to like wing woman me, and she's like, girl, I tried, but all the guys I brought up, Kenny says they're like engaged, married, and I'm like, it's okay, I appreciate you trying. But it's like literally even in his grad program, there's nobody.
It's just like the dating pool just gets smaller and smaller as we get older.
I think I'm meant to be someone's second wife.
No.
I'm just waiting for some guy to learn his lessons with his first wife. He become fully cooked, and I don't have to do no training anymore. And
honestly, I feel like the idea about people getting divorces though freaks me out. Not freaks me out.
It's starting to happen now.
It's so often. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At least with my like my ex-boyfriend, when I was with him, 2 of his like friends from childhood were getting divorces at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So like early 30s.
Yeah.
Because they married really young.
Yeah.
They're like 21, and then I guess when you're like really young, you're still growing, you're still trying to figure yourself out, and then maybe now a decade later you're realizing you guys are very different people,
right?
And
then divorces happen. So
I feel like that's like so common now too. And I asked my boyfriend the other day, I was like, oh, do you like when you were like dating, did you feel like everyone was single, or did you feel like everyone was taken? And then he's like, oh, I actually felt like everyone was like single at the time, but then obviously like the good ones were always with like taken, but then I always felt like everyone was taken and there's not a lot of singles, and I still kind of feel like that. But then now that I am in a relationship, I feel like, oh yeah, there's a lot of single people like still out there.
A lot. There's it's an epidemic.
So do you think that there's more single people out there than taken people?
Well, I definitely think there's a lot of taken people now that I'm single. Like that's me.
I
don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of single girls.
Yes.
There's a lot of taken men.
Oh, that's good. That was good. Okay, because she means yeah, because she means men, not boys. But there is a lot of single boys.
Yes.
True. There is a difference between boys and men.
Yes, that's good. We can put that on a shirt.
I know.
Yeah, but that
boys
is
versus
true.
Men.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to find someone who is like honestly, I don't even like even a gentleman. Like I don't even know if that's existent.
Is there a
like
gentle boy?
there are soft boys, but I don't. Yeah, I know soft boys who like me and Diego were like making fun of we were watching this one like sad boy set from like a DJ, and then he was just like, look at all those like young people, like like they all need rave days at the front, because it was like you know those like melodic. So like
like Millennium.
Yeah.
I love melodic dubstep.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Not even like Millennium. It's like Dabbins at
yeah,
the
yeah,
sky,
yeah.
and then they're like, yeah,
Throwback.
and then Diego's like, how do you even headbang to this? Like, and then there's people at the rails like.
Yeah, it's not like this, but it's like
yeah. But yeah, no, like there's a lot of people that after looking at that video, I was like, yeah, I think they might be single.
That's what we should do. We should go into
Go to the rail.
go to the rails with the totem poles,
Yeah.
being like,
I'm single.
Yeah, and it was so funny because in that like video there was like a guy giving another guy like a shoulder ride, and I was like, do you think he
Pride
gets
month.
and then it could be that as well, but my question was like, oh, do you think he wants to be asked by a girl to give a shoulder ride? And then and I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I feel like guys like they want to look good and impress like a girl at like a festival or at a rave, and then Diego Argentina was like, I think if they're tall, they probably don't want to be asked for shoulder rides, but then all the short guys want to be asked for sure.
Yeah, they gotta show like they got something to offer.
Yeah.
Short, but a strong. Honestly, that'll get me. I like a strong guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
As long as
someone
they're
who's
smaller than
active.
me.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Because if they're smaller than me, I actually fear that I'll break them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing too when they like lie about their height.
Oh my God,
They have,
yes.
like, a whole thing
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're pretty like strong. Like Garland works out. I think she's strong. Yeah, so I feel
She's
like
gonna like bench press her next date. Or something.
yeah, but yeah, no, the guy I feel like needs to at least bench press, like you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Fuck.
geez.
Yeah.
No, I mean, personally, I did date someone where like he wasn't that active, and that's what I find in a guy. Like they need to be like active, and because it's good for their health, etc. But
yeah.
I dated a guy for a while, and he said he was active on his like profile, but then as I got to know him, like he wouldn't work out or anything like that. He would just be gaming all the time, and it's like
Everything on the profile.
yeah.
I'm so sick
Yeah.
and tired of liars.
Yeah,
Please don't lie.
yeah.
Like if you lie for your height for like 1 or 2 inch, I understand. But when it's like 4 to 7 inches, you think I'm not gonna notice, sir?
I want to be able to see you at eye level.
Exactly.
Yeah, but on the thing about like guys who even remotely tried like a type of workout, do you feel like you would want someone who goes to the gym, or do you like when they know a lot of sports, or like it's just active that you usually like?
I think as long as you're active, because I'm all about health, and being healthy comes with like just being active, like physically active, right? And so if they prioritize their time with doing that, and obviously like eating healthy too and all that, like, and if that's their goal in life or just in general, then that's what I'm looking for. If you're just gonna be like, a straight, I don't know, like someone who's always at home,
Like a homebody.
which
Just like out partying all the time, not prioritizing your health.
yeah, I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I can be a homebody too, and I love to like take breaks sometimes and things like that, but it's like in the end, we are getting older and we need to prioritize our health, and so, and I feel like that also comes with like I see a guy in that, like they have their own motives in life, not just with
I guess it's true.
health, right?
Yeah.
Have their it's
Like there's a drive. Yeah.
Mission, yes.
And there's also,
Yeah.
I guess, a discipline too when like guys are like consistently going. And then I
Right.
feel like if you know that
good habits.
Yes.
and if they're consistent, then that means they have some consistency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe
Yeah.
they'll text you consistently.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's like another thing too. It's like you want to be accountable for each other, right? In a relationship and
True.
and friendship too. So
Yeah. The other question I wanted to ask too is like, what do you think about a guy who's competitive? It's a very targeted question for guys.
it is because I love that question. I've been with another guy that I dated who was very competitive, but like I think that like it's okay to have like a certain level of competitiveness.
Yeah, like a
know?
challenge.
Yeah, because I'm competitive myself. Like I said, like I like to go on like different activities when it comes on dates, and so it's kind of like playful. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna win against you, you know, even though I
You're
know.
like pushing each other to be better.
Right. Yeah, it's very
To that extent.
it's very playful and like but when it comes to like to an extent where they're either upset at something if they lost, especially with this one guy that I dated, like he was very like he was giving like over masculinity vibes in a way. And it was just like I play tennis, and so I played tennis with him once, and he hasn't played tennis, or he said he's not really good at it. And so it felt like towards like after that he was like, man, like I can't believe I like lost. And I was like, what does that mean? Because it's like
You win and you lose.
Yeah. It's just a game.
Yeah, you know, like I don't know if he meant it in a way if he was joking around, but it was like it was kind of like, why is it because like I'm a girl, you know? Like I don't know.
And it kept being like a thing that he kept saying, like
He kept. If he just said it once, then
No,
it's like,
he
okay,
kept
joke.
saying
but
that.
the fact that he brought it up, he's insecure about it.
Yes, and it wasn't even like tennis. It was also like bowling too. Like I won against him.
He's just like a bad loser.
It's a sore loser.
A sore loser.
Like like I'm not that great at bowling, but I mean I won, and he just kept mentioning that in our like other dates, and I was like, okay, like let's move on, you know?
Yeah.
It's so
Like-
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's the big idea that she won over you?
Right.
You could just
Right.
be
Yeah.
like, oh dang it, well good job, and then
True.
play
Yeah.
another game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, like the way that a good comeback would be like, okay, let's play something else. I want to let's do something. I'm going to win next time or something like that.
Yeah.
But then also I feel like if they lost, I feel like they would just try to be like, okay, whatever. Yeah, no, you won this time, but we'll see next time, you know?
Exactly.
But then because he's like, I lost, like, you know,
It affected his ego.
I think it was definitely
that's
an
it.
insecurity.
It says a lot about that person.
Yeah, it
you
says
know?
a lot about that person, and with men sometimes
Yeah.
when something hits their ego, they don't let it go easily.
Yeah.
and
They
then
don't, and they like use this like defense mechanism and like either become aggressive
or they try to bring you down to
Yes.
make themselves feel better.
Yes.
She's like
I
speaking
say
my
yes a lot
language.
because, like,
Experience from
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But at least I feel like your intuition was pretty spot on, because that's when the intuition is very specific, I feel like you're not wrong.
I had to turn
gotta-
that guy down. And
Yeah.
trust your gut.
Oh yeah, that was a weird that was a weird
Did
like
he get like competitive after you?
So I
no, I'm gonna do it first.
I'm gonna turn you down. No, here's another story, friends.
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was more like I think that was partly the reason why I wanted to end things with him, was because I just didn't see myself in that person. But it was only like I had like a few dates with him, like 2 or 3 dates. But
Yeah, just 2 or 3 days.
yeah, and so I told him, and for me, like I didn't think I wanted to tell him through the phone or in person, because I don't think we were at that level of like, you know,
Like dating.
yeah, I don't know, like I mean I think everyone has a different perspective on that, but for me I just kind of wanted to just text him about it. I'm sorry. Like,
because I mean, you didn't want to really see
You weren't
him
like
again.
Right,
Yeah, you guys
yeah.
weren't exclusive.
Yeah.
and also because I knew that he was more
Get
on the
aggressive.
aggression part,
For
I
safety reasons.
for safety reasons, right? And so I texted him and I said like, hey, I don't think this is gonna like work out. I think that we have two different avenues in like what we were looking for in a relationship, but I wish you all the best. It was very respectful the way I said it.
Yeah,
I
she
think.
had a very
because
yeah.
you're not like ghosting him or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Instead of
You could have, yeah.
I could have, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
No, her response was really like well like drafted. Well, like I feel
Yeah.
like it was concise enough that it was. She even left it ending like, oh, I hope like you
Like
do
on
the
a
best.
positive
Yeah, yeah,
note.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of sandwiching that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sandwich method.
But his response was like totally aggressive, very.
He did not like the sandwich.
He did not like the sandwich at all.
Yeah.
Well, at least it shows that you made the right decision. A
Yeah.
normal person would have just been like, awesome, or like, glad we're on the same page. Wish you the best. Or,
Right.
like,
Right.
"Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, but wish you the best.
Exactly. It was more like he kind of thought that I was insecure. Right.
Yeah, he
He's,
displaced
like,
it totally.
projecting.
Yeah, no,
for
he
sure.
was. Like, in the end, he was like, is this you or your insecurities talking?
Yeah, I know. Literally, I was like, that is so
Like, legit.
rude.
Like,
No, literally so rude.
it was very rude. It was
Yeah,
very rude.
and I
Yeah.
feel like, and he made like a side comment being like, and for you to like wish me the best, like it was a bad thing to wish you the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because she was just like saying it like, oh, I hope
I
you're.
feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
has a lot he needs to work
Yeah.
through.
And he was one of those people that were like, he was like overly confident in a way. But like,
they're compensating for something.
exactly. And I remember just having a conversation with him, like while we were dating, talking about insecurities, like if we had any. So I talked about mine, right? And I was pretty open about it. He also talked about his insecurities, but it didn't feel like, it was only like surface level insecurities. Like it wasn't like really about his personality.
Sure.
So-
Yeah. It's more just generic like that. You would
Yeah.
always feel awkward about.
Yeah. And so I don't think he was open to that.
Yeah.
Or he's just also not aware.
Maybe. Yeah, that too.
You can't fix something if you're not aware of it.
Exactly. So,
Aw.
yeah, it was a very bad response, but I mean, I'm glad I dodged a bullet, you know?
No, for sure you did. Literally, you don't need any of that.
Really.
Yeah.
We really know how to pick them, don't we?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Girl boss.
I know, seriously.
We're just attracting the bugs.
Yeah.
We really are. We're the light of the show.
Oh.
Trying to be.
I'm literally like imagining like a lamplight, and you guys are the bugs.
You know how like I have the little bug lights in my outlets, and then
Yeah.
you have a little sticky to attract like the
Oh, yeah,
like
like
kill the
the blue light or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
lights at night,
Yeah.
so then the flies, the gnats get to it and they get stuck, and that's how you get rid of them.
That's fun.
literally me. I'm like, my light.
Yeah.
Guys, are these little bugs that get
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we talked a lot about like all the bad things about all of our experiences like with guys, but what are some things that you're hoping for like for the next guy that you date? Like before we like conclude the episode. What
not
are some
abusive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you could have some more standard. And when she's saying that, it's like not like mentally, whatever, like no gaslighting
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Honestly, the bar is pretty low for me.
Nah, you should set it at a good standard.
Yeah.
Someone who's like ambitious, funny but not funnier than me,
Yes.
financially literate,
Yes.
has like a good group of friends around them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely dated people who don't have friends, and then I realized that like it's because of the way they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a red flag if they don't have good long-term friends around them.
Yeah, that's a good one. I feel like if you don't have a lot of friends, that's a little. So, like I get if you're a little bit more shy, but even like
Yeah.
shy people, they've had like
Right.
they had friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if like their best friend changes every year.
Oh yeah, that's a little
Something's
sus
wrong.
too.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think for me, like, yeah, kind of like what you said, like very ambitious, driven towards their goals for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like on the surface, like, I mean, I love to banter a lot, and so I want to find that energy too
Yeah.
with someone, but I think on the deeper level, I want them to be emotionally available.
Yes.
And so I feel like that's been something that I've consistently, seen is the unavailability
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
other people that I've dated. And so I think I haven't lost hope yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's still someone out there for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just can't give up, even though we're jaded, exhausted,
Right.
hurt. And I feel like you and I we just have to, like, we keep getting knocked down, but we keep getting up and we keep putting ourselves out there because we have hope that there's someone out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it just sucks that we have to keep going through this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like sometimes I feel like it's also like it's wasting my time and energy.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I feel like throughout this whole dating experience, it's like I said earlier, I've learned a lot about myself, but I think what really stood out throughout this whole process is never settling for less.
Exactly.
Because I feel like in the past, being with someone and dating, like, I've always tried to, like, see their potential
Yes.
and, like, giving them a chance. And I totally think it's valid that we give them a chance, but if they keep making the same mistake, and if they verbally say that they're going to try and do their best, but they actually don't act upon it, then I think that's like a big no-no,
You have to take them for what they are, not their potential anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know how they always say, like, you'll meet someone when you're, like, in your peak best themselves. So, like, I feel like if you're going to find someone at their peak or their best, they don't have to have all this, like, worry of whatever issues they have.
Yeah.
And they should be confidently you guys should be confidently meeting each other at, like, the same like pace in life.
Yeah, like, yes, we're gonna have imperfections, and I have imperfections too, but it's like, you want to make sure that you put an effort for each other and stay accountable for each other.
Thanks.
Good advice.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I feel like this was a really good episode, and then hopefully everyone out there who's taken a listen was able to relate in any way. And thanks, Garland, too, for, like, opening up. Yeah, no, it was actually, like, really awesome for you guys to, like, talk, because I feel like you guys are, like, the people that I'm, like, just wanting to have, like, a relationship soon, and I feel like you guys are in a good place right now. Where I feel like you both have, like, still, like, a positive look, and I feel like both of you are at, like, a peak right now. So I'm literally just waiting for whenever like it happens, because I feel like it's close, so not too, like, far.
Fingers crossed. I think something that I wanted to mention too is, like, I think having, like, self-worth too. I think just you have yourself in the end.
Yes.
Like, I feel like in the beginning when I first started dating and all that, it felt like I, like, lost my, like, sense of worth.
Yeah.
And then you realize, like, no, like, you are just still growing and learning from all these experiences. But
that's actually
That's literally how I was too. I was changing myself for these guys to make their lives easier,
like, adapt.
Yeah, and then it
what
felt
did it do for me? Nothing.
Right.
Yeah. And if anything, I think it dampened, like, her, like, spark and her light. So I feel like the universe doesn't want you to be in that situation, like, either. So keep your light. You guys can be the lamps, and the flies or whatever.
We need to find another lamp.
We need a clean lamp. Before we end, where can people find you again, just as a reiteration?
Yeah, so my handle is xgarland, and if you guys want to follow me and my best friend's coffee Instagram, it's gonna be at grillbeans with a Z.
Yes, and you know where to find us. I'm Nina at Psychofood, and
I'm Tiff at Take One for the Road.
Yeah, and we are at Just One Bite on Instagram and TikTok, and we have episodes every Tuesday on YouTube and Spotify. And yeah, stay tuned for the next episode, and hope Garland comes back for the next episode. And anyways, we'll see you guys later. Bye.